Trout Shadow lifted his head proudly as he trotted up the sands of the beach towards the opening of BranchClan's caves. It had been a difficult morning of hunting, and his tail was still dripping with salty seawater. Lately, the fish had been more difficult to catch. The small schools of flashing silver fish. Really, Trout Shadow? Fascinating. You know, I really haven't missed that. I have it set in Inras where you can't come up, and yet here you are, proving me otherwise. Why don't we just go ahead and say goodbye to you, ma'am? Goodbye. Oh my goodness. Well, there would be time enough for him to enjoy his mysterious catch. For now, the tomcat peered into the depths of BranchClan's main cave with an eager flick of his tail, glancing around for Misty Pond. Really? Really? Did I need that happening right now? And then you freeze the game. What? Who is doing what? I am so offended right now, Stonepool. I was in the middle of recording. You guys are making this a really hard one. Oh my gosh. You too! You too! Bearglow's right there! Stonepool! Bearglow is about to rip Trout Shadow a new one for flirting with his sister, and then you two are just nuzzling in the background here. I swear, you two better not try for kits like Crowfeather and Sea Whisper did. While I'm not looking, I will absolutely lose it. I just behave yourselves. Behave yourselves, okay? I did not authorize this, and nobody is going to believe me. Oh dear. Before Trout Shadow could make up his mind on what to do, Nightfrost was back, an assassin beetle clutched carefully in her mouth, and she dropped it before— Really, Dawnstep. I was hoping we could just ignore you were back there, and then you had to go Demon Cat and just stick your Demon Cat head up like that, huh? Dokies, has anyone ever told you that is one of the absolute creepiest things you could ever do? Has anyone— Oh, that's fine. Stonepool's joining you. That's okay. All right. Maybe I should just start making this turn out to be messages from Starclan. Are you receiving some divine message and it's just too much for your kitty bodies to handle? Because this is more than a little bit scary. Oh my gosh. Finally, Lionstar nodded out over the gathered cats, his expression shifting to one of pride and joy as he caught sight of Robinpaw, who stood next to Dogaze with wide, excited eyes as she surveyed her first gathering. Beside her, Squirrelleap and Tommy were seated together, the visitor Bartrum perched next to them, and looking more than slightly confused and amused as he watched yet another confusing ceremony among the clan cats. Lionstar had announced Robinpaw's new duty as Medicine Cat Apprentice earlier in the gathering, along with the news of Honeywish's new kits, Oakglade's warrior status, Redpaw's apprenticeship, Briarstock's temporary promotion to deputy, Bartrum's appearance and visit, and the disappearance of Silverfang. It had been a busy Newleaf in the clans. Newleaf? Dang it, I was so far! It's Greenleaf! It even says Greenleaf right here! Why? Ah. Bartrum blinked down at the snail for a moment, his Bartrum snatched up the rainbow snail and whipped around, disappearing into the bushes with a rustle of leaves. Crowfeather watched the spot where he had disappeared for a moment, then finally let out a long sigh and turned back to where the BranchClan cats were doing their forest training, his paws feeling slightly heavy from the excitement of seeing a Mossclan cat beginning to drain away. Once, the ocean had been an enchanting mystery, and he thought it would be impossible to ever look away from its vast presence. But now, as time went on, he couldn't help but feel a sense of helpless insignificance as he sat behind. Once, the ocean had been an enchanting mystery, and he had thought it would be impossible to ever look away from its vast presence. But now, as time went on, he couldn't help but feel a new sense of helpless insignificance as he sat behind. Once, the ocean had been an enchanting mystery, and he had thought it would be impossible to ever look away from its vast presence. But now, as time went on, he couldn't help but feel a new sense of helpless insignificance as he sat beside the open sea. There was just so much of it. And suddenly, he felt very much like one small, insignificant fish that took a taxi for 2 seconds. What was that even about, you fish? No! Gosh darn it! Wait a second. Wait a second here. Wait a second here. I'm trying to shoot a scene. And suddenly, Sandkit, what are you doing here? You shouldn't even be able to get over there. You took a taxi over here to... How are you about... You are going to age up. Don't tell me aging up never. What nonsense is this? Oh my gosh. I think I've fiddled with their ages for one thing in a bad way, and I'll have to fix that. But what nonsense is this, Sandkit? Oh my gosh. Why are you over here taking a nap? Why did you take a taxi to get here? You're ruining my scenes. Oh my gosh. I don't know how she got over here, but we'll fix that. You're not supposed to be in there. That's not Branch Clan territory yet. It's gonna be there. You just gotta be patient. The kits meowed in excitement and headed directly for the pile of fish he had caught, already arguing with one another over who would get the shiniest or biggest scales for their collections before they had even gone out of hearing. Crowfeather heard a soft chuckle beside him and turned, his heart giving a soft flip as he saw Seafeather standing next to him. Her name is Sea Whisper, actually, not Seafeather. Oh gosh. They seem excited. Sea Whisper meowed. Sea Whisper, yes, Sea Whisper. What is wrong with you? Sea Whisper hissed, fear and fury tearing her voice apart and making the kits at her feet whimper in shock. She ignored them, her gaze locked on Crowfeather, a storm of hurt and anger flashing in her green eyes. Gray eyes, not green, Seri. Gosh darn it, it's even written gray. Without waiting for a reply, Sea Whisper leaned back and viciously clicked with her teeth. Clicked at it. Yeah, that's what she did to the deathfish. Yeah. Without waiting for a reply, Sea Whisper leaned back and viciously kicked at the deathfish, sending it flying across the sand towards the beach waves. With a sharp word to the kits, Seafeather gathered them to her. Feather? Her name's Sea Whisper. Oh gosh. A few of the gathered cats chuckled, and one light? Minnowkit snorted in amusement, tilting her head at the odd question, her wide eyes disappearing as she narrowed them in thought. Dang it, Jana. Why, Jana? I don't like you right now, Jana. With a tiny shake, Minnowkit forced herself to lift her head again, gazing at Ivy Stripe with wide eyes that carried a glimmer of old regret that seemed extremely odd to see in such a... The atmosphere of the sandy clearing changed immediately at the mention of the deathfish. The Starclan cats quieted instantly and seemed to shimmer into the darkness, their gazes turning back towards the three kits with a fierce intensity. The kits, for their part, all looked startled. Wavekit and Minnowkit glanced at one another nervously, and Frogkit stared at Misty Heart, his eyes wide and his expression blank with shock. Finally, he took a couple of Stakey, dang it! I'm telling you, he should go back to his clan. A fish brain like him isn't needed in this clan. He's an embarrassment to Branch Star. A dark tabby she-cat yowled loudly, staring in anger at her companion. Wildpaw let out another low growl, her skinny calico frame trembling with annoyance and anger. How was she supposed to have known that the last chunk of tuna had been saved for Otterslip? It had smelled good, and it had been sitting in the pretty Look at what you've done, kits! You have distracted me! They don't even do anything, Wildpaw muttered, glowering at the seething collection of kits. One of her younger siblings tripped over his paws and head went, X-Kit. Who the heck is X-Kit? If I'm going to write this, then at least write it properly. Oh my goodness, Seri. The bushes along the border of the clan territory were always full of fascinating scents, and tonight was no different. There, under the overpowering sour taste of the nearby Thunderpath, lurked the sense of several cats Frogkit was more than slightly curious about. Like Wildpaw, who just appeared out of thin air. Wildpaw? Rude. The early Greenleaf had been a healing time in the thick forest that made up the territory that Mossclan claimed as their own. The forest had struggled, in the usual way of a slumbering leafy place, during the long, cold leaf bare, but its time of new leaf growth had been crushed under a cat. Lionstar, that's excellent. Very excellent. Congratulations. Really? But I was in the middle of trying to get this done. Please. Oh, okay. Let's let your music go. Okay, we'll praise you. Da 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 da. All right, there you go, buddy. There you go. Now let me get back to work. As much as many of the Mossclan cats, especially Honeywish, her pride as Mossclan's deputy stung, had been reluctant to admit it, without the help that BranchClan and Crowfeather had brought during the late New Leaf, and really... Lionstar! Lionstar passed his huge tail across the forest floor, gently sweeping away thoughts of their lost clanmate. Crowfeather had been taken by BranchStar, claimed as blood family, in exchange for the food that BranchClan had brought. Crowfeather could have come back. Indeed, Lionstar had thought he would, especially as their friendship had run so deep. Not that deep, Lionstar. Well, Briarstalk glanced towards Honeywish, who gave him an all-too-familiar glower, and then sighed heavily, glancing towards Bartrum with a smile. It can't hurt to try fishing, right? If we're careful, we can be sure to keep away from any two-legs and their dogs who are walking there. And besides, you're... Really? Briarstalk? Come on, dude. Really? I was in the middle of that. Don't give me that look. So, a black and white tuxedo cat that Bartrum didn't recognize came out from under the bushes. The Mossclan cats gasped, and the black and white cat lowered his head slightly, his tail raised in a shy friendliness behind him. The tuxedo cat glanced over at Mossleaf? Ah, Lionstar! No, what? Who are you? I don't even know anymore.
What was it like?
Beakit meowed again, wiggling his small body with excitement. Really? Really? Bumblecit? Really? I'm trying so hard right now. Bumblecit, come back! Where'd you go?